Yo, what is good? It's your boy G-RAFF. What the Yo, what is up, G-RAFF gang? It's your boy Giraffe here. Remember the name because we play video games and we do the damn thing. Today, we have the IG question video. I don't even know what I'm going to title this, bro. What should I title this? I was thinking in the car while I was driving back from work. It should be like titled like from a giraffe's perspective or something like that. Who knows what I title this? But I had this idea of going on my Instagram. If you haven't followed, go follow that, by the way. I had an idea to ask people that follow me if there's any topics or things that they want me to talk about in terms of mostly like relationships, kind of like psychology, philosophy, stuff like that. But it was open to whatever topic that y'all wanted me to discuss, and now I'm finally able to do it. I apologize for how long it took because as you can see, I just moved out into a new place with two wonderful homies of mine, and yeah, it's been just kind of crazy to just fill in the space and move everything out and trying to decorate my room and see what I could cook up in here. So just been busy with that, and also just been working and just planning more stuff for this month, especially because we got DreamCon coming up and a whole bunch of stuff just dropped on just right there. So it's a lot of things, but I will be coming back better than ever. I'm back and I'm better and I'm better. Awesome, Bryson Tiller. And yeah, but without further ado, let's just get started with the video. First topic is men overcoming lust, breaking bad habits when entering healthy relationships, or creating a healthy relationship, not really entering. Because you never really enter in a healthy relationship, it's kind of like created by both sides. But the topic is basically men overcoming lust, or at least the main thing here. So first, I would like to define like what exactly is lust. People kind of have this difference in love and lust and kind of don't know the differences between it, or at least think that it's the same as love initially. But lust is basically a strong sexual desire, and that is mostly rooted in kind of physical attraction rather than really get into like the mental, emotional attraction that it is for your partner or whoever you're messing with, so to say. But the one thing about, I think, men specifically for having these kind of lustful thoughts, it all pretty much starts from, or at least most of it starts from back in like middle school or high school, or even like before that through exposure to movies or social media, or like even your peers. You always see that men have to get all the women. The men that get all the women are like the most popular, like the most well treated. The men's that are virgins are bullied and like are losers. Not as much as anymore, but back then it was so important for a man to have sex because that was the kind of value that was spread amongst other men, because they're like, oh, you would get no you get no bitches, you get no women, you don't fuck, you don't get no something like that, right? And that basically ties into how men think a lot about these lustful thoughts of, oh, I need to smash, like I need to fuck. That's like not the main thing, of course, but it's basically a big point for men to be like, okay, well, I need to go and fuck so I can show off to the homies, basically, and be one of the guys to fit into a crowd. It's like sense of community kind of thing. If I can't fit into this community I want to get in that will like me only because I get to fucking, then I'm worthless, or like low self-esteem kind of thing. I think the first step in men overcoming lust is to first acknowledge and be aware of when these lustful thoughts occur, and finding out why that is specifically for you, why these lustful thoughts are happening in relationships where you of course don't find that much importance about sex, and you want to just lay down and really enjoy your partner for who they are and experience them for who they are, and not just for their body and for sexual pleasure. So to find out that and where exactly this lust is coming from, you have to ask yourself, well, why is this such an important thing for me in the first place, and where did this come from? So that way I can at least get down to the origin of it, and as to maybe that can help you start to rediscover how to work around that, and toss the lustful thoughts to the side, and focus more on experiencing your partner for who they are, and love them for who they are, and experience them, and not just, as I said, for the body. In terms of having the bad habits for entering a healthy relationship, it really does like depend on what kind of bad habits are you having, especially when it comes to lust. The most common habit I would say that men have when they are in just such such a lustful state is porn addiction, or masturbation, especially when coming into a relationship. Like, your partner definitely doesn't want you to do that, or maybe they wouldn't mind. Who knows? That everyone's different. I feel like for masturbation in a relationship, it can be detrimental, especially if it's masturbation to pornography. You see a different woman that's not your girl, or a different man that's not your man, and then you're in your head, wishing that was you on the other side, and you're over here doing that wherever the fuck it is that you're doing it, and your partner's on the other side, just there for you, or not for you, but like there to also help you with these like sexual tendencies, if they have if they give consent to that. And so if you really know that like what you're doing isn't healthy for a relationship, and it would definitely be looked down upon by your partner, you definitely got work to do for yourself, and have to acknowledge that and be like, okay, why am I doing this to my partner right now? We're a team, and I'm over here bullshitting and about to shoot a fucking blank, and it's like, why even do that to disrespect my partner like that, So it is tough to have that kind of habit being broken, especially if someone has been doing that for such a long time, and it has been part of their kind of daily routine or weekly routine, however frequent they do it. And it's hard at first to kind of really get a grasp on, oh, I don't have an addiction. But then if you see yourself doing it, even when you kind of tell yourself not to, or you plan to not do it, then it starts to really be shown to light that it's like, okay, well, this isn't something that I want to do, especially like when you're 30 or like 40, like in a relationship. You don't want to be doing that stuff, bro. You don't want to be doing that stuff in the bathroom while your homegirl or homeboys in the fucking living room waiting for you to get back so y'all can have an enjoyable time together. So it's like, why even do that in the first place? So yeah, I'd say for breaking bad habits, the main thing is to acknowledge and be aware of these habits that you have, and to also replace them with good habits. Like, let's say like Atomic Habits, through that book, there's a lot of tools and kind of ways to circumvent bad habits. You can have a reward system with it, where each time you do it, then or each time that bad habit occurs, then you either like get disciplined or punished for it, or it's maybe like a day by day kind of thing. You put money in like a tip jar, like money in the jar for like how many days you've been not doing that, or not doing whatever habit it is. One of the methods that James Clear talks about in Atomic Habits is another method of having a buddy system. So basically, whenever you have this bad habit been done, you have to tell someone. You have to tell a trusted like best friend that it's like, oh, you don't want to be like open to that, or like as open with that to that person, and then doing that. Or if instead of like just telling them, like, you give them $50 or however much money you give them because of the thing that you just did, that creates so much more of like a barrier to not do it, because you have something to sacrifice after. And that only works if you keep your word. If you don't keep your word, then what's the fucking point, But with that, you have a better chance of getting rid of that bad habit and then replacing it with a even better habit. So let's say like you're feeling like, you know, like that's like you're like 3 a.m., whatever the fuck time it is in the morning, whatever, feeling like you need to like just do something. You can either instead of like going straight to that kind of side, try something else. Of course, like breathe first and like just really like take things slow and slow it all down in your head. Think about what you're doing and what intention you want to set, and then either, you know, go walk outside, do some push-ups, do something different rather than following that feeling. So that way when you continuously do that, and not like I need to like count the days type of thing, but just for that day, just for, you know, today, and then just keep thinking that just for today. Okay, I'm gonna go outside to get rid of this. Okay, I did it for today. And then, you know, as time goes forward. So that's like a few methods that I can remember off the top of my head that'll help with those kind of things. But everyone's different. Who knows what will help and what will not. Another thing when breaking bad habits, I'd like in a general sense, what really matters to you in this relationship, in a healthy relationship, and also with lust too. Are you in this relationship because you're just lusting over this person? Or are you in this relationship because you actually love and care about this person and want to spend time with them and experience them? So there's that. And again, it all starts with acknowledgement and awareness of these things. If you don't have that to begin with, then there's little like, you know, room for succeeding in changing the way that you are. Now, next topic is relationship fatigue. This is a kind of new topic for me. I didn't really know this was like a thing until I started searching on it, like on Google, to do like what exactly it is and all that stuff. And I feel like in my experience, I have experienced it quite a bit. I would say that there's also like a different side of it too, where I thought it was like people that are in a relationship, they're tired of trying to be in a relationship or trying to, you know, like shoot their shot, try to find love in this corner, that corner, a lot of things, you know. So I'm gonna take it to both of those sides, if y'all don't mind. So for the first side of having a relationship fatigue, which is basically while you're in the relationship and you're kind of like tired of each other, it's like a burnout kind of feeling. I feel like you definitely need to discuss with your partner and tell them, of course, like it's like, hey, you know, sometimes I feel like I'm kind of burnt out of this relationship, but y'all should be able to, you know, discuss calmly and really review over your relationship and how it's gone over the past year, month, days, whatever time it is, and really take into heart how both of y'all view the relationship and where these thoughts of fatigue or burnout are coming from, and so on. But in general, I think, well, I asked a question on here was, do y'all spend meaningful time together? So is it like when y'all spend time together, is it actually stuff that's meaningful, not just like dates and all that, but even just chilling at home? Are y'all really comfortable in each other's space? Are y'all conversating? Are y'all talking about things? Or is it just kind of just dull, not really interesting to both of y'all? It's kind of just monotonous at that point. So you really gotta see where y'all are falling short in, and if that can be, you know, recovered, or if y'all don't even want to try anymore, then why don't you want to try anymore, you know? Another thing too, like there's like a balance between it. So you can't have, you know, as little time. Like if you spend like little time, then it's not, you know, gonna be worth much, because if you're burnt out of a relationship and y'all barely spend time with each other, then that's probably why it's burnt out. But there's also the issue of spending too much time together, Do y'all have space for your own lives, for your own friends? Or are y'all together like 24/7? Are y'all like glued together like this, like everywhere you go? And if you won't really spend time with your friends or you're on your own life, then you're kind of just, putting off those friends that you've been made and you're hanging out with your significant other. Sometimes it's okay to do that because, you should love your significant other, like not more than your friends, but at least some days you feel more comfortable hanging with them than friends, and that's okay. Sometimes it's an alternation between the two. But back on my point of spending too much time together, if y'all are spending too much time together, that's probably why there's so much burnout, because y'all lose things to talk about if you spend too much time together. Because if you're always around each other, then it's like we all see the same thing, and we all pretty much have like the same opinion of it, so there's nothing really to discuss or to bring up. There's loss of there's a loss of outside experiences that you could bring to them and talk about and share that with them, and they would like to listen and also see life from your eyes, and how you experience it on your own. So that's a thing that could lead to relationship fatigue. Now, on the other side of things, where relationship fatigue, I was guessing with when you're single and you're kind of tired of trying to like be in a relationship, or you're feeling lonely, or you're feeling like no one, I guess, likes you in a relationship or sees you in that way. But I'd say to that, or I'd ask that person, how important is being in a relationship to you? Because if the thought of like being in a relationship is so important, then that also slightly means that you have nothing really going on for yourself, and you're not doing things for yourself, or you're hanging out with people that you don't really want a relationship with, like your friends and all that. So if you're having this time that you have by yourself and so on, being so focused on a relationship, then you're gonna feel more fatigued of it, because you have nothing else going on but the drive to be so involved in getting a relationship. And even if you are in a relationship, or like were to get in a relationship because of that soul feeling, what do you have to bring to the table to this other person? Because you're not doing anything but just trying to talk to a girl or talk to a boy, and trying to really just date them. And who knows if you're dating them for who they are, or you're dating them for just to satisfy yourself. You're not really finding love, you're finding something to fill in the void of space that you have within yourself. So it's not really healthy to just go out there and chase after a relationship solely for the fact that you want to be in a relationship. I think it's way more important to really just spend time with yourself, and even love spending time with yourself. So that way you have something, despite not being a relationship. Like when you're in a casket, it's just you. It's not going to be you and your spouse in that casket. So what do you have for yourself? And what do you have for others to experience for you? Because if you have nothing else going on, then what the fuck is there to talk about? How do y'all connect? What are we gonna talk about? Nothing. You rot in your bed all day? Okay, that's cool. Some girls might say me too, because sometimes they be doing that. But at the same time, I don't know, it doesn't really bring forth a relationship that would be fun, at least in my opinion. I'm not speaking for everybody, but in my opinion, that just doesn't seem like a fun, healthy, interactive relationship with two people, or with both sides. You know what I mean? Not two people like polygamy, but if you're into polygamy, then that's cool too. Same thing applies. And then I also asked this question of, what do you have going on for yourself outside of pursuing? There you go. Yeah. What do you have? What do you have going on for yourself outside of pursuing relationships on dating? Again, it's your life. Your life can be shared, of course, but at the end of the day, what are you doing for yourself? Hello. Is it not your life? Next topic is taking risks. I love this topic. I actually wrote a lot about this one. First, I want to start off with this quote. It's I don't know who made the quotes. I probably have to search it up and I'll put it somewhere around here. But the quote is, take the risk or lose the chance. I first got this quote by watching a Taekwondo video, not the fighting, but the YouTuber. He's great. He talks about a lot of just, of course, it's mostly just about like Riz and shit, but sometimes he does dive deep into topics of philosophy and really honing into what it is that you want to become, what it is that you want to become a better version of yourself. So take the risk or lose the chance. Because I feel like with that quote, you lose a lot of chances when you really just like don't go for things. And once you lose those chances, you you will feel regret. You will feel regret if you see, like, at the end of the day, like, if the result could have been in your favor, then you regret not taking that chance because either you were afraid of the outcome or it maybe was just too risky. But depending on like why it was too risky, like why was it too risky? And sometimes even like the feeling of like why is it too, like the feeling of why it was too risky, it kind of really just hinders you from other things because you're not a risk taker. It starts to translate into other parts of your life because you're playing it safe. You're playing it so safe that you won't even go outside to smell roses. You're playing it so safe that you won't even like dive deep for some shit that you really want. And I'm not saying that in like let's go like down a whole black hole for some like little piece of gold or like some sparkle that you see in that black hole. But I think I don't know how to explain this very well, but it's like it's such a like fear of failure and this risk that you won't do anything but feel comfortable. And you won't feel safe unless you're like in a safe zone, which makes sense, but that's not a way to really live life in terms of what it is that you want to get. So you can lose the chance and have regrets, and you can stay cooped up in a little like house and whatnot, but how long is it until those houses walls crumble and fall upon you, since you're not checking outside the house and not seeing that all the repairs you gotta make and all the shit that you gotta go get for that house after you go outside? I don't even know if that made sense. I hope that cooked, but if not, I might just be mumbling sometimes. I'm sorry, but my mind kind of just races through these things, and I would hope that makes sense. It seemed to in my head when I talked about it, but at least I'm being open about it and saying it. See, I took a risk. I took a risk of saying, I don't know what the fuck's in my mind, and if you don't get it, then oh well. And if you do, then cool. That's another thing too. I feel like with being so scared, it's not really scary. It's so like maximized in your brain, especially if you have this kind of scarce mindset, where if you don't like, if you start to do this thing, you think you would like lose everything or like lose a lot of things. Most of the time, it's kind of just like a slap on the wrist afterwards. The biggest like worst case scenario is more than not just in your head. And sometimes even if the worst case scenario does happen, I feel like you have to have that trust and confidence in yourself to know how to deal with that and circumvent through that. And you know what's usually the worst case scenario in things? You die. Unless I mean, like, that's not really the worst case scenario, but it's definitely one of the worst case scenarios, or something. You die. You stop living life. You die. So if that's the case with things and you start to think about that, you're not gonna die if you take this risk. It may hurt you afterwards, but did you at least go for it? You at least went for what you wanted. why would you not go for what you want, especially in your own life? So with this next kind of point in this topic, I got this from a podcast I've been recently listening to called Spiraling Higher. Y'all should go check it out. It's by two girls named Sam and Gina. They're pretty cool individuals. They're both content creators. Well, at least Sam is. That's where I kind of got the podcast from, is from Sam. She's on TikTok and all that. And she talks a lot about manifestation. And I think this really does fall in line with taking risks, because her perspective on it really expanded me on my thoughts on really going for what I wanted, and how fear can get in the way of that. So this topic is like from one of the podcast episodes. I forgot what it was, but it was what's so scary about taking a chance and not getting the thing? You'd still be in the same state you were in before. So let's think about this, right? She was talking about like a money analogy, like there's an like you have $10 and then there's this opportunity to get like $100. And sometimes people are so scared to not take that chance because they're like, oh, I don't know if I don't want to not get the $100. I don't want to take the chance to not get the $100. What if I don't get it? Even if you don't get it, you still have $10. Like there's it's over there to get this kind of opportunity. And if you don't get the opportunity, you're still the same state that you're in before you even like had the opportunity in your thoughts, or out there in the open to you in the world. So it's like, if you're not gonna take that chance, why wouldn't you? Because you're still be in the same state that you're in before. So why not go ahead and go for it? Sometimes sometimes I understand, like sometimes the risk, depending on the risk and depending on what choice you're exactly trying to make, sometimes you can't go back in the same state because of either loss of different opportunities or loss of whatever else that is out there as a factor in taking this kind of risk. But even if you took the risk and did not get what you wanted, at least you tried, and it's better than not trying. And then I wrote this like fucking point down, holy shit. I wrote down, some people would argue that you wasted time, or what about other opportunities at that time? If it was something you truly wanted to do, how is that wasting time? As for other opportunities, there's no for sure way of knowing when a different event arises. And if a different way does arise while you're taking the opportunity, you got to assess and compare the choices that you have, then make a decision, commit to it, and act on it. Because if you spend too much time overthinking about taking this opportunity or taking this risk, then it's eventually just gonna just fizzle out, and you're gonna be stuck in analysis paralysis. I learned that one. That was crazy. But analysis paralysis, basically. And I think I'll leave this topic with this last one, because I've been on this topic for a good minute. You won't know for sure, no matter how much prep you do. You're not Batman, and it's okay to embrace that you won't know, as long as you assess and plan for what you want, but not too long. You'll never know. You can try to know all the things, all the different factors, but by the time you got everything all jotted down and shit, that opportunity might be gone. And you're over here just creating more stress in your brain when you could have just did the thing and got it and you're good. So a lot of just fear and paralysis just comes from really just thinking too hard on things. People that live through life happily and like just go along with the flow of it, not like necessarily like, oh, I'm just gonna do whatever the fuck it is, whatever, but they at least plan for what kind of direction they're heading towards and how to really get there, and at least the main steps to get there, the little like steps, the little things between those main steps, they just trust themselves to at least find ways to mitigate them as they're on their way to that direction that they're headed towards. So go through life, flow through it, and also take note of things that could be a hindrance onto the way that you want to go down towards. So this last topic is being friends with your ex. This is pretty like standard. Like it can happen. I'm not gonna say like, oh no, don't be friends with your ex. Fuck them. Unless it ended like badly like that, and you got mistreated, and you know it's abusive, and so on and so forth. That goes for both sides. I'm not talking just about women. It goes for men too. You know, and whoever, you know, she, they, them's, all y'all. If you're in an abusive relationship, I wouldn't really recommend going back to that. I'd rather just say, fuck that shit. I'm not dealing with that shit. Get tossed to the side. You're an ex for a reason. But in terms of things ending in either like a mutual way or not even like too bad of a way, but still kind of like, ooh, like damn, then I feel like it is possible to bounce back from that. It takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of just really understanding the other person for who they were at the time and seeing if they have grown past who they were before that. Not in a sense of like, you got to try for a relationship again, but more so like, okay, if we can treat each other well as just friends and have these boundaries that we have to discuss, or these boundaries that we have in case of like whatever the fuck happens, then cool. Now with being friends with your ex, you also have to understand that you're both single and that y'all have to be on the same page. Because if you're gonna be friends with your ex cannot be the jealous type. If your ex is jealous because, you know, you're out here, I guess, dating someone, or you're in a relationship, or in a, like, you're dating around, doing all that stuff, your ex cannot be jealous and on your ass about stuff that either you post on your social media or that they hear about, because you don't want that to happen. That's not really good for being friends with an ex, because now your ex is all up in your business, and you didn't want that in the first place. You just wanted to be keeping it cordial, having friendships, and you know, just enjoying them as a friend. So you gotta understand, like, you're both single and y'all can do what you want. You're not in a relationship anymore. That was past. This is now. Focus on the now, okay? And this is kind of a wishy-washy topic for me. I think for like, even like when you're dating and you have your ex as a friend, of course, if y'all aren't thinking about ever getting back together, then I don't think you'll get this issue. But I think if there's still, I guess, some kind of slight feelings, or it didn't really end too bad, talking about other people that you're dating to your ex, I don't know. I don't think that's like healthy for that kind of relationship, because you're gonna end up having that ex talk about like, well, I wouldn't do you like that. You know, I wouldn't do you like that. Why would you stick to that though? Unless that's like a good reality check from like your ex, and it's like, okay, that's cool. You're giving a reality check because you should know somewhat of like how you want to be treated, especially after after that relationship. And if they were at least like better than the person that you're dating now, then I mean, their point could be valid. Their point could be valid about like, you shouldn't be dealing with this. Like, I didn't treat you like that. But to say like, oh, I didn't treat you like that, it kind of leaves such a like bad taste sometimes. I don't know. It's weird. It's very. That's why I said it's like very wishy-washy. It's very like a case by case kind of thing, and how you feel in the moment when they do say that. But for me, I don't think I really want to talk about my dating life to my ex. That's kind of just, they don't really need to know that, and I don't need to tell them, because if I'm talking about dating other people to my ex, I would hope it's not coming from a place of I'm trying to show that I'm better off without you, or that I'm dating people better than you. It should really just come from a place of No, I don't even know if shit comes from a place at all. If it does come out of your mouth though, it should just come from a place of like you're just talking about your day or talking about an experience that you had. So, and if they actually asked like what's been your dating life like, then it's like okay, well we can talk about that in a cordial manner, I hope. But if things go south, then that means y'all can't talk about that shit anymore. But yeah. But the main thing with being friends with your ex, if it ended badly, then there's a low chance of that happening. But if there's substantial growth from that past and y'all can discuss and understand each other, then it's possible. The main thing is seeing them grow from who they were to who they are now. And hopefully that's better than how they were in that relationship. And that y'all can discuss and understand each other for whatever fault it was at that time of the breakup. And that y'all can understand that now is different and y'all are both single, and if y'all want to be friends, then discuss the boundaries. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of that. Another one that was said was throwing it back. I'm not talking about throwing it back. I'm not doing that shit. But in the club, it don't happen anymore. That's all I'm gonna say. It don't happen as much anymore. But that's not in my control. That's, people do what they want to do. This is pretty fun. I liked it. This is like a pretty simple, like fun, just, getting to really interact with the community and seeing what y'all like my thoughts about. I hope y'all enjoyed my thoughts about these things, and I hope they've helped the people that have asked these questions. And if they didn't, then hey, it is what it is. Sometimes I don't know what I'm saying. Sometimes I'm not, the person to help you, and that's fine. If I'm not the person to help you, then I hope that you find the person that will, or find a thing that will, or even in yourself, when you ask yourself questions about why this is happening to yourself, then you've at least dug deeper into that, and now you can do better at what you want to do. But yeah, thank y'all for watching. I think I'm gonna do another one of these probably next month after I kind of get more situated in the new space and decorating it, making it look nice and comfy for myself. And yeah, it's been your boy Jarrell Giraffe. Remember the name? Nope, that's the intro. It's been your boy Jarrell Giraffe. Thank y'all for watching, doing whatever it is that you do during your streams. Hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. Live life to the fullest, get 1% better every day. And I will see y'all in the next video. Keep being you, because there's only one you in the world. Bye bye. Peace out.